ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांति। The very first khanda of this Kena-Upanishad, which has 4 khandas, supplies to us very deep insights into our true nature, knowing which we can be liberated. We saw the 4 mantras so far. The 4th mantra, in the kind of counting that we have adopted, the 4th mantra was running like this towards the end. Anyadeva tad viditad ato aviditad adi. The supreme truth is neither the known nor the unknown. That second part of the 4th mantra had another line. Iti shushruma purvesham yenastad vākya-bhāshya. We heard in this manner from teachers who were before us, who had received the wisdom from their teachers who were before them, and so on. Shānkarabhāshya has something to say about that wisdom coming down the lineage. Don't worry about seeing those words in your book or in any slide. I will quickly read some words from the last part of the Bhashya on the 4th mantra. Iti Shushruma Purvesham iti Agamopadeshaha. There is a tradition of the Agama, the Shruti, the right tradition of communicating the Vedantic message. And what is significant in Adi Shankara's statement is, the next sentence goes, Vyacha-chakshire. Teachers said to us, iti, what it implies is, aswatantram. Vedanta is not to be studied just by oneself, by one's own buddhi. One has to receive it from teachers who have shifted the gear, who have seen things from an entirely different angle of view. For Vedanta study requires that shift of angle, and it is so unique. It's so different from thousands of other subjects in the world. Vyacha-chakshire iti aswatantram. We are not swatantra. Here swatantra means going by some way of our own. And also tarka pratishedhartam. With due respect to logic and reason, the subtle truth of the Vedanta is to be known not through logic, not through reason, which can take us up to some distance, but at a certain point of time, we have to let go of tarka or yukti. Naisha tarkena matirapaneya is a statement in the Kena-Upanishad. This Brahma is not understood by merely implied, by mere reason. And Shankaracharya, towards the end of his Bhashya on the 4th mantra, which we completed already, says, Yenastad Brahma Uktavantaha Te Nityameva Agamam Brahma Pratipadakam Vyakyatavantaha. He praises Agama, the Vedic tradition. Agama, Agama itself means that which has come down over the ages, is Nitya. It has eternal wisdom. Na puna swabuddhi prabhavena tarkena uktavantaha. Please know that the very mention of teachers before us, their teachers, and so on, points to the truth that this cannot be arrived at swabuddhi prabhavena tarkena, by logic that somehow comes from our own intellect. Agama paramparya avichedam darshayati, says the Bhashya. There is an agama paramparya. Paramparya is para to apara. That is para to next one, which is apara. From high to low, then what comes another 20, 30 years later is again lower. So an unbroken avicheda, agama paramparya avichedam darshayati vidyastutaye. This is to praise the vidya, this knowledge, in terms of how it is so different from all other knowledge. One last sentence in that paragraph towards the end of the Bhashya on the fourth mantra is Tarkaha tu anavastito bhavati, bhrantopi bhavati. Tarka, logic, which may charm us, which may fascinate us at times, actually is anavastita. Avastita means when it finds its end and settles there. Anavastita is it goes on and on, on and on, on and on, and doesn't settle. Anavastita bhavati, bhrantopi bhavati. Tarka, mere reason, without receiving the inputs from the Shruti, which is rightly given to us by competent teachers, mere reason can lead to more and more confusion. In Viveka Chudamani, Adi Shankaracharya says, Chitta Brahmana Karanam. It can lead to more and more confusion. With this, we shall enter in this session the last five mantras, because in the last five mantras there is quite a bit of repetition. Repetition meaning something is said about speech, then the same thing is said about the context of eyes, of mind, of breathing, or of vital air. So several faculties, practically all the faculties are brought in to the scenario, and then in the case of each of them, it is said to us, Brahma never becomes an object to either the senses or the pranas or even the mind. So we read the fifth mantra now, and for that, let's open. We have sent some 5 slides too. The slide, the PowerPoint slide is taken up now. Slide number 1 gives to us the fifth mantra, 1.5. Pratama Khandaha Panchamaha Mantraha. Kaha sa mantraha. What is that mantra? That mantra makes a very important revelation about understanding God. What we understand God through some imagination, through some visualization, through some conceptualization is not God. The mantra goes, Yadvacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. The second part especially, Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate, repeats in all the 5 mantras, that is 5 through 9. 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 and 1.9. In the 5 mantras, know that alone to be Brahma and not this which people worship, people do upasana on. The English translation reads here, That which is not uttered by speech, that means speech can never have Brahma as its object. Speech can talk about a pot, and the other person understands, oh, pot is like that. Thank you for letting me know. Speech can cover thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of thousands of gross objects, even emotions. If you and I go on studying big dictionaries in Sanskrit or English or any language, then we find that the vast vocabulary in practically every language in this world has the capacity to describe, to point out a very wide range of things. Then there are the technical words, then there are the particular words of particular subjects. So, in medicine, in engineering, in general literature, in economics, everywhere. So, there are some simple popular books, all of you would have tried your hand at them. Improve your vocabulary in 30 days. During my high school years, when my English was rather weak, but I had received, thanks to a certain, very special circumstances, I had received a very good foundation in grammar. But vocabulary and the right pronunciation were not good. That time somebody had given me a book, enrich your vocabulary in 30 days. And I, if not fully, I had glanced at that book, and medical terms were introduced. What's the difference between pediatrics and podiatrics? What's the difference between an optician and an ophthalmologist? And so on. There are a number of medical words. And so on and so forth. So, vak, that is speech, is an amazing power. But that speech cannot describe Brahma. Brahma cannot be objectified. Therefore, yad vacha anabhyuditam, yena vag abhyudyate. The situation is other way around. Brahma actually illumines speech. And Brahma gives the power to speech to illumine objects. That is, describe objects. Convey what an object is from one person to another. So let's see the next slide, where Adya Shankaracharya comments upon this very important mantra. The vākya-bhāshya we are seeing goes like this. As all of you know, there is first pada-bhāshya, we are not touching it. That's also an independent commentary. And by the same author, namely Adi Shankaracharya, there is this vākya-bhāshya. Yadvacha iti mantranuvadaha dhrida pratityai. Dhrida, firm. We might have had glimpses of this unique nature of Brahma, extraordinary nature, but that is to be more clearly understood. Dhrida pratiti. Pratiti is understanding. Dhrida, as it says, the translation says, it's a mantra anuvada. Anuvada here doesn't mean translation. Anuvada is a restatement. An earlier mantra had said, now this mantra also states, therefore anuvada, anuvadati, means that same thing is said, restatement of the teaching for the purpose of making it clearer. Pratiti should become more drida. Earlier, anya devatad viditat, other than the known, iti yaha ayam agamartaha brahmanoktaha. In certain classification, some mantras are called brahmanas, some mantras are called mantras. So the word brahmana is used for various things. Some kind of mantras are called brahmanas. Some other kinds of mantras are called mantras. Asya eva dradimne. Earlier what was called drada pratityai, now dradhimne. This is also fourth case of dradima. Dradima means clarity. For the sake of more clarity, ime mantraha Yadvacha ityadaya patyante. These mantras have come up here. What do they say? Yad Brahma Vacha, Yad Vacha Anabhyuditam is the mantra. Brahma Vacha. Vacha means by speech. Shankara says Shabdena. Whatever words you use. Prajna, Prajnanam, Samved, Atma, Brahma, Pratyagvastu. In Sanskrit, in English, in Hindi, in Telugu, better. You may have 100, 1,000 words to point out Brahma, but Shabdena Anabhyuditam, Anabhyuktam, Aprakashitam. It is not illumined by the word. Therefore, the truth is never touched by word. And then, what is the relation between Brahma and word or speech? Brahma can never become the object of word or speech, but Brahma makes the faculty of speech do whatever it does with other things. It gives the power. Vak prakasha hetutva uktihi. Brahma is the cause for words to become very capable. Vak prakasha. There is light in speech. When you and I hear somebody's speech, we say, wow, we learnt a lot from him. That means his speech gave us so much. His speech illumined things which were otherwise in the dark for us. So, Vak Prakasha. In Vak, in speech, there is light, but that light comes from Brahma. And Vak cannot throw light on Brahma itself. Yena prakashyate iti vachaha abhidhanasya abhidheya prakashakatvasya hetutvamuchyate brahmana. Keep an eye on the mantra on which this is a commentary. Yadvacha anabhyuditam yena vagabhyudyate yena vak prakashyate. By which Brahma is that by which this speech is made to have light. We know we can speak. Or when somebody speaks, we know she is saying something. Let me understand. So, in our words, we know that there is a capacity to let somebody understand something. In the words of another person, we know that in those words is hidden, is contained an ability to let us know something which we did not know. So, the Bhashya says it is Abhidhana and Abhideya. Suppose somebody describes a flower. Somebody describes a hibiscus flower. That hibiscus flower is Abhideya, what is called by some name, hibiscus. And speech is Abhidhana. Abhideya and Abhidhana. What is named is Abhideya. The name is Abhidhana. In everything. The popular example in Vedanta literature is a pot. There is actually a pot that is Abhideya, and the word we use, it is a pot. I am Ghataha, I am Kumbhaha, various. In Hindi you may call it, ye ek matka hai. So matka, Ghata, Kumbha, and so on, they are the Abhidhana. And the mantra is saying to us, Brahma throws his light on both Abhidhana and the Abhideya. Brahma first empowers the faculty of speech, which then throws light on a pot or a flower or a chair or a table, big and small things, far and near things. So it is said, Abhideya Abhidhanasya Abhideya Prakashakatvasya Hetutvam Uchyate. Abhidhana, the word pot, has the Prakashakatva, has the ability to let somebody know the object pot. The pot is Abhideya. In order to know that pot, a certain word may help. and that is Abhidhana. Brahma is the Hetu. Brahma is what is beneath both the flow of words and things that are illumined. That is Brahma. Further, we have Adi Shankaracharya giving to us greater and greater clarity. In the next slide, we see how Shankaracharya goes on to talk about this, what we call the relation between various faculties and then the principle of illumination. येन प्रकाश्यते इति वाचः अभिधानस्य अभिधेयत् प्रकाशकत्व हेतुत्वम् उच्यते. And then he says, Uktancha, right in the beginning of this Upanishad, the student had asked, Kena ishitam vācya-bhāshya vadanti. How are people to speak? What is power behind their speaking? Yad vachoha vācam. In his answer, the Guru had used the expression, it is the speech of the speech. That means the empowering principle. It never comes one notch below speech, it is one notch above speech. And Vadi Shankara says further in the next slide, which goes, why is next slide not able to come? I can read from my book, but people participating should get that. Shankaracharya says, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. See, he's going part by part on the mantra. After saying, Yadvachanabhyuditam yenavagabhyudhyate, the third part is, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. Here there's a simple comment by Adi Shankaracharya. Number one, Brahma is not the Vishaya, object. Avishayattvena Brahmanaha Atmani Avasthapanartha. We and I are so used to conceive something and then hold on to it. In all our acquisition of knowledge in thousands of subjects, we didn't know before, we got to know, and then we hold on to that knowledge. I know Greek, I know Latin, I know Sanskrit, I know Japan, I know England, we say. So Japan, England, Greek, Latin, Sanskrit are concepts in our mind, which can be helpful in Vyavahara. But Brahmajnana is not about conceptualizing and then holding on to it. Rather, we need to remain as Atma. Atmani avasthapanartha amnaya. For heaven's sake, change the gear, shift the gear, let go of this tendency to know something and say, I know it. Rather, let go of the very attempt to know. Atmani avasthapanam is required. Stay as the pure self. Yadvacha anabhyuditam. So we have Brahman is described here as that which can't be understood by speech. The Bhashya portion, Yadvacha anabhyuditam vak prakasha nimittam chaiti brahmanaha avishayatvena. Brahma can never be Vishaya. Vishaya means object. Then somebody may say, oh, then Brahma is not the Vishaya, and then for Brahma must be something somewhere. No, Tadeva Brahma Vidhi, the empowering principle in every speech, in every sight, in every hearing, in every smelling. Tadeva Brahma. So Adi Shankara says, don't look somewhere else for Brahma. If the context is speech, here is speech made of words and objects which those words describe, empowering the words and empowering their ability to illumine the objects, right there. Vastvantara jigraksha. Jigraksha is grahitum ichha. You try to hold something else, let go of it. Nivartya swatmani eva avasthapayati amnayaha. The mantra. The mantra helps us to stay as our own true nature. It's not another activity. In thousands of knowledge forms or in all other knowledge forms, it's an activity. I want to know something. You bought a new gadget, then you take the user's manual and you study. Then you say, oh, now I know how to operate it. So there is an activity, there is a process by which the unknown becomes known and you enjoy it. Here, you are the known, you are the one to be known. Therefore, let go of your urge to know. It looks like self-contradictory. How do I know Brahman? Let go of your urge to know. Be Brahman. Stay as Brahman. You are already Brahman. The words to be highlighted here are Atmani Avastapanam. So, Avastapayati Amnaya Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhiti. Yatnataha, this is another punchline. Yatnataha Uparamayati. On the slide you may see it. The last Sanskrit line. Out of the 5 lines in Sanskrit in this slide, the last one is Yatnataha, means Yatnat, Uparamayati. You and I are so used to effort. Because that is how we achieved everything else. In life, we put in effort and reach somewhere. We work hard and come somewhere. We arrive somewhere. And when we are very tired, we sleep off. Either we sleep off or we are working, putting in effort. But this Brahma Jnana is very unique. You have to withdraw from that habit of effort. And it may be said that to let go of the old habit of achieving everything through effort, you need to put in a different kind of effort. In other words, I say to a student, let go of this habit of putting in effort. The student says, sir, I am trying. I am trying to let go of effort. Trying is again another effort. The teacher may say, let go of trying, just be. Please give me some time. I'm actually trying to just to be. I'm trying to be, but trying is an action. Trying is an effort. Therefore, to let go of effort finally happens when a certain understanding dawns upon you. So to be silent, Maharshi Ramana said, Sumairu, be still and know that you are God. I believe the Old Testament also has that statement. Be still and know you are God. In the Old Testament, which is part of the Christian tradition too. As you know, the Old Testament is respected by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam too. So the Old Testament has this statement, be still and know that I am God. Ramana Maharshi quotes it at certain places. But this being still is very tricky affair. So yatnataha uparamayati. See, somebody withdraws, in Sanskrit we say saha uparamate. But Shastra makes him withdraw from habitual process. This withdrawal is involved in spirituality from the beginning. You and I need to withdraw from pursuit of sense pleasure. You and I need to withdraw from desire and anger. You and I have to withdraw from bad company, bad associations. In meditation, we need to withdraw from unhealthy thoughts, from irrelevant thoughts. We need to withdraw from it. It's all. Let go, let go, let go. And you rise higher and higher. Then if somebody imagines that it's very hard to let go, I'm going to try more. Wait a minute. Trying also is part of the old habit. Just be. So difficult for us to conceptualize it. Yatnat uparamayati. Uparamayati is the causal of uparamate. Uparamate means withdraws. Uparamayati means Shruti makes us withdraw. To make someone withdraw. Nedam iti upasya pratishedacha. And one more import of this statement is Brahma is not upasya. A shalagrama may be upasya. A shivalinga may be upasya. In Sanatana Dharma, the infinite Lord is made into an idol. We never say the infinite becomes finite, but for our ease, for our contemplation's sake, we see there is a beautiful pair of statues, Lakshmi and Narayana. So Lakshmi and Narayana, and we do upasana. We put flowers at the feet of Lakshmi and Narayana. We sing stutis, and then we close our eyes and bring the radiant images of Lakshmi and Narayana in our mind. Can that be done with Brahma? Upasya pratishedacha. No. The Upanishad mantras pratisheda, they dismiss. Brahma is not to be visualized, not to be conceived, not to be adored with a certain sense of what is adored and we who adore are separate. Brahma is when you let go of these divisions and you say and you stay as one. So we go further how there are some more mantras, and that's what we say. The fifth mantra we saw. There are four more mantras which are very similar. Yan manasa namanute yenahurmanomatam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yachakshusha na pashyati yena chakshumshi pashyati tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. These two are put in the next slide. Let's take a quick look at the next slide. In fact, one mantra at a time. So, 6 and 7. Let's see 6 for a moment. So we have Yan Manasana Manute, amazing mantra. That which the mind cannot think of, Yenahur Manomatam. Brahma is that by which mind is illumined. Mind is as though held in its embrace. Mind is made operational thanks to Brahma giving it the support. And then the seventh mantra talks about Chakshu. So Shankaracharya clarifies in the vākya-bhāshya that when the mantra says, eyes cannot see Brahma, but Brahma sees the eyes. Chakshumshi, plural, not even two, more than two. Chakshumshi, Chakshuhu, Chakshushi, Chakshumshi is the vibhakti. It is said it is the Chakshu Vritti. Like in modern science, we say modern anatomy or modern medicine, etc. The eyes see and then particular signals go from the retina. An image is formed in the retina through the optic nerves. The image goes to the brain. In Vedanta, we don't use the word optic nerves and certain electrical signals and so on. We say thoughts that relate to the object being seen. And these thoughts are illumined by consciousness. Brahma is pure consciousness. As the English translation by Gambhirananda goes, that which man does not see with the eye, that by which man perceives the activities of the eye. So the consciousness that perceives the chakshu vrittis, know that alone to be Brahma. Then you have 8 and 9. The 8th mantra says about Shrotra, 9th mantra talks about prana. Shrotra is ear. That which man does not hear with the ear, that by which man knows the ear. For as we said before, knowing the ear is better replaced by knowing the signals coming from the ears. The ears bring some information and consciousness illumines that. So certain nerves take the signals corresponding to whatever you have heard to particular portions of the brain, and then the man or the woman knows, I know this sound. There was a 5-year-old boy whom I met some time back, in the Suvarnamukhi ashram. He could hear the sound of a car and say which model it is. Oh, this is an ambassador going. This is a Fiat. Oh, this is a foreign car. This is a Hyundai i20. Or this is a BMW that passed by the road. Amazing. That little boy was able to hear the sound of the car and say, this is this kind of car. A very special ability. So you see, there is a car, and then there is the sound of the car, and the sound of the car makes certain signals flow from the ears to the brain. So Brahma is that which illumines knowledge taking place in that way. Last but not the least is Yat Pranena Na Praniti. Though in an earlier mantra, the word prana stood for nose, nasika. By virtue of a line you will soon see in the Bhashya selected, here prana can mean vital air. Because when you take prana to mean grana, nose, which was done earlier, it is a jnanendriya. But Shankaracharya talks about kriya shakti. Then it appears that he is referring to the pancha pranas. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. They are behind motion. Kriya Shakti. You have Jnana Shakti, you have Kriya Shakti, you have Ichcha Shakti in a certain classification. So prana can be taken as vital air or vital air involved in the nose. Therefore, Gambhirananda gives the meaning smell. That which man does not smell with the organ of smell, but that is the truth which the organ of smell, the truth by which organ of smell is impelled. Organ of smell, the nose, is empowered to know a particular smell. Rest of it is same. Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi. Now we will see the last portion, a small short paragraph by Sri Adi Shankaracharya, comments on all these four mantras together. Mantra 6, 7, 8 and 9 are explained in just a few lines. By the mind, etc., mantras are the same as mantra 1.4 and 1.5 also we saw. So 1.4, 1.5, or this numbering sometimes that yad vacha anabhyuditam could be numbered 1.4. So yad manasa na manute, yad chakshusha na pashyati, yad shrotrena na shrunoti, yad pranena na praniti. Those four are very similar to yad vacha anabhyuditam. So whether it is speech, mind, eyes, nose, and ears, same. The basic meaning is same. For example, manomatam. Manomatam iti. Yena brahmana manaha api vishayikritam. Everything is object for the mind. But mind itself is the object for Brahma. Why? Brahma is nitya vijnana swarupena ityetat. It is principle of knowing. It is pure consciousness which has no boundaries, which envelops, embraces, which pervades all the sense organs of all the living beings of anybody and everybody and anywhere. Such is the Vijnana Tattva. Nitya Vijnana Swarupena Ityartaha. And likewise, Sarva Karananam Avishayaha. Brahma is not the Vishaya object for any organ, any instrument. Eyes, ears are called Karana. Mind is called Antakarana. That way the Jnanendriyas are Bahikarana or Bahyakarana. These Indriyas, or which are called Karana, instruments, serve Vyaparani along with all their activities, serve Vishayani along with their respective objects. It's like some marriage invitations go. Please come and please bring your family and friends. So somebody is invited and that person is supposed to bring family and friends. Like that, Jnanendriya and Karmendriya, along with their Vyapara activities, along with their Vishaya, respective objects. Eyes have to come in with forms and colors. Ears have to come in along with sounds. All of them, eyes, form and color, ears, sound, nose, smells, and the act of smelling, the act of seeing, the act of vyapara, all of them, Nitya Vijnana Swarupa Avabhasataya, Brahma being of the nature of illumining without even a tiniest moment of lapse. Nahi drashtur drishter viparilopo vidyate is a famous line in Brahadaranyaka. In the seeing of that Brahma, there is no lapse, not even a tiny break. It never shut down, never, all machines have a downtime. Even the best machines sometimes are not working for a little while. If the operation is so important, they have one more machine which immediately takes over. Then this machine also, second one also has downtime, a third machine takes over. So if you want to keep some operation without break, the Brahma doesn't that way have downtime at all. Nitya Vijnana Swarupa Avabhasataya Yena Avabhasyante iti shloka. All right, all said and done, what does it boil down to? Study Vedanta, reflect on these statements. Somewhere you will see, I must now stay as consciousness. I have always believed in effort, but the highest mind management is not through trying to calm the mind, but stay aware, mind on its own constantly. Higher level of self-management is not to, through effort, put kama, krodha, etc. under one's control. The higher mind management, higher sense management, higher management of desire, anger, and so on, is to stay alert and aware. Then all of them fall down like a house of cards. So with this, Adi Shankara's commentary on this first khanda of maybe there is one more with some quotations. Kshetram kshetri tata krishnam vasayati bharata. In Bhagavad Gita, this truth is conveyed in 13th chapter. One kshetri illumines countless kshetras. Your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, etc. Somebody's eyes, nose, skin, etc. Somebody else's indriyas, mind, and other things. All of them are feeds, and one kshetri illumines all. That is Smriti, not Shruti, not Veda, but Smriti, Gita. Then in the Smriti, in the Shruti also in the Vedas, Mundaka-Upanishad in Atharvana Veda says, न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम etc. तस्य भासा sarvamidam vibhati. It is the light of Brahma which alone is true. Be with that. Stay as that is the advice. The last line of the Shānkarabhāshya is Yena pranaha iti kriya shakti api atma vijnana nimitta ityetat. So even the energy as expressed in motion. Like I already touched upon it. Prana can mean Kriya Shakti, and even though Shankaracharya has said it, the word prana can mean nose. For nose also has, in essence, the action in it, to know smells. Nose as though springs into action and gets to know the smell of something at a distance. Otherwise, Kriya Shakti in Karmendriyas. Prana operates in the Karmendriyas in a special manner. So, with all this, what we mean is the Kena-Upanishad helps us say goodbye to certain habits, certain tendencies, certain habitual operation of our thought, our mind, our senses, etc., whereby the little separate I in us is kept active and alive. The separate self is not real. If only you stay aware, the separate self subsides on its own, and that's when you realize the Advaita, the undivided, non-dual truth in all, in everybody. The one Brahma which alone is true becomes clear to us. In that merging in the oneness of Brahma, our spiritual journey comes to a close, a happy close. We are then liberated. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo, Namah Paramarashibhyaha.